Welcome everyone, welcome. Welcome back one last time to JMB on RPGs. Welcome to the Epilogue / goodbye episode. Welcome to the end of the quest. And what a quest it has been for me, indeed. Together with all of you, I was able to replay and cover 10 of some of the greatest and most influential RPG games of all time. All of which in the order that I originally discovered them throughout my life. Dragon Warrior 1, Final Fantasy 1, Super Mario RPG, Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, and 10, and then of course, Final Fantasy 6, Chrono Trigger, and Earthbound. But this show has not just been a little stroll down memory lane for me, nor has it just been a great big thank you card to everything RPG, but at its core, at the very root of this entire series, there has been an idea. An idea that all of RPGs and all of video gamedom have something remarkable to teach to us. To us! Specifically to us. An idea that all of gaming might be able to show us all how we can in fact succeed at and thrive at. Maybe even one day become masters of a much bigger game. A much, much bigger game. Now what do I mean by that? Am I talking about Warcraft? No. Am I talking about Minecraft? No. I am talking about nothing less than everything craft. I'm talking about Soulcraft. I'm talking about the idea that the greatest games of all time have absolutely nothing to do with cartridges or discs or consoles or controllers of any kind. Because the greatest games of all time are in fact not video games. Because the greatest games of all time have always and will always be to become an artist, an inventor, a mathematician, a scientist, an engineer, a writer, a singer, musician, filmmaker, puppeteer, a professional wrestler, a video game maker, a YouTuber, a soldier, a general, a fighter, a Jedi Master, a chess master, a beast master, a master of all forms of kung fu, and an alchemist! Everyone! These are all just games at their core. And what wonderful and truly one-of-a-kind games they are indeed. But the problem is, of course, that most of us don't look at any of these things as games at all, do we? No, we don't, because most of us look at these things as impossible. Most of us look at these things as just some nice little fantasy, as just some daydream, but in no way real. Not for us anyways, maybe for some of those more special, more connected people, whatever the hell that even means, but in no way for us. To which I say, bullshit. Bullshit! Because I'm telling you all right now that as gamers, we all have it in us to become a very special and very rare commodity indeed. Because by nature, whereas most people spend all their leisure time being totally passive in nature, doing nothing, absolutely nothing but watch soap operas and reality TV shows and foosball matches in some sports bar somewhere, what do we do with our time? Why, yes! We all spend our time doing something extremely mentally active in comparison, don't we? Because we play games. Games that require a serious amount of active skill and focus. Because we are all active people by nature. And all I'm saying to you all is, just imagine what else we could all do if we all just chose to become more active. If we all just chose to try our hand at something from outside of the world of video gaming. And that is exactly why I have made this entire series in the first place, everyone. Because personally, I think we all have it in us to become nothing less than a flood. A flood of limitless potential. A flood of new masters of the many crafts just waiting to happen. Because life is not a passive thing at all. Because all of these things, the arts, the biz, the sciences, the law, etc., they all require people who are not passive in nature. They'll require people like us. They require gamers. Honest to God gamers, because gaming is life, and life is gaming. Because gaming so very much contains the essence of life itself. And therefore, that makes us all studiers of life itself. Studiers of the game, because in essence, is life not just one great big game, one great big massive multiplayer game? Yeah, it kind of is. And if it really is all just one big game, and most of us are already clearly such gaming masters, does it really take that big of a stretch of our respected imaginations to realize that we can all become masters of so much more than just our mere PlayStations, Xboxes, and personal computers? Because I certainly seem to think so. I seem to think that if we just take the skills we have already accumulated from our lifetime of constant video gaming and simply learn to apply it to something else, to something more of our own personal choosing, not only will we all be living much better lives, we will all be in fact be making the game, the big game, a much better and happier place for all. And I know how passé and how overly melodramatic that all may sound, but that is only because of how so very few of us realize how we are so very much a part of this game. Everyone! We are all a part of this game! And I believe we owe it to ourselves to become a much bigger part of it. To become nothing less than masters of this game. Same as any other game we've ever played. So dare to believe everyone. Dare to believe that you can do something more. That you can become something more. Something amazing! And for those of you that do, for those of you that can in fact believe, my name is Justin M. Bailey, and I am very pleased to meet you. Okay, so for those of you still with me, for those of you that haven't clicked off this video yet, I thank you. First off, I would like to share with you all everything that I think is most pertinent from the world of RPGs. After all, this has been JMB on RPGs, and then finally after which, I would like to share with you all that, which I think is most pertinent, not just from the world of RPGs, but from the entire world of gaming at large, and then I want to wrap it all up. But first to the RPGs. So, when concerning ourselves with my most favorite gaming genre of all time, let's first get the obvious out of the way, shall we? RPGs are not like other games, are they? No, they are not at all, because any other type of gaming genre out there, any other type of game, whether it be a platformer or a shooter or whatever, it can almost always all but be figured out everything it is that you need to do to complete that game in 60 seconds or less. A Mario? Okay, a Mario! So I just avoid getting killed by these guys. I run to the end of every single stage without falling into any pits. Fire flowers are good. Shiny stars are great. And I repeat this process with every single stage until I finally get to the end. A halo! Okay, a halo. I just make sure I kill all of these guys. I fill them all up with a whole lot of bullets. I fulfill a whole lot of arbitrary objectives while navigating to the very end of every single stage without falling into any pits. And I repeat this process with every single stage until I finally get to the end. And this is true for just about every single video game you have ever played in your life, because almost all video games are all extremely linear in nature. And it's most certainly worth mentioning that as is the entire world of academia, everyone. High school, college, grad school, etc. All academia is just go to class, take your notes, pass some tests, write some papers, take more classes, and before you know it, bam! You have a high school diploma. Bam! You have a master's degree. And anybody can do this! Just like how anybody can beat a Halo or a Super Mario Brothers game. Because all these things, however difficult they may be in nature, in essence, they still are never anything more complicated than just simply getting from point A to point B. And I don't think I need to tell any of you at all that this is not the case for any of these lifetime pursuits. I don't think I need to tell you that there is no set path to becoming the next Steve Jobs, or the next Stephen King, or the next Steven Spielberg, or any other Steve or Steven you can possibly imagine. Nor do I think I need to tell any of you that there is no set path apparent to any of us. That very first time we ever sat down to play a little something called an RPG game. Because when compared to most other video games, RPGs are not linear in nature. They are not just about getting from point A to point B, and they most certainly take a whole lot more than just 60 seconds to initially figure out if you have never played one before. And yet, in spite of this, though that first initial RPG experience may have seemed impossible at the time, most of us did eventually figure it out. And many more after in the years to come. And do you know why? For the same reason why so many people can look at RPGs in the first place and see nothing but tiresome turn-based battle systems and menus and stats. Whereas we just so happen to see the greatest gaming experiences of our very lives. Because like I've been saying for this entire series, since that very first Prelude episode, RPGs attract a very specific type of person. That those of us who are in fact attracted to them in the first place are usually neurologically built different than that of most people. Most of us are neurologically built to be highly sensitive in nature. And contrary to popular belief, it is an extremely good thing to be sensitive indeed. Because to accomplish anything on a Stevian level of any kind, it requires that you are able to see things in ways, and understand things in ways, and sense things in ways on a level that most people simply can't even come close to. In short, it requires that you're highly sensitive in nature, and that you are willing to do three things. Three things that you've already done over and over again. In every single RPG you have ever played, it requires that you are willing to, number one, leave your comfort zone and go out on a quest. Number two, grind and work your ass off. Dare to do the things other people won't, dare to go to the places other people won't, but most importantly of all, that you are willing to put the level of work in that most people simply refuse to do. And simultaneously along with this one, number three, don't ever quit. No matter what happens, no matter how impossible or how dire things may seem, do not ever quit until the day is saved, and so are you, because, my pretty little princesses, no one is coming to save you. This is the formula for success in every single RPG you or I have ever played. And it may very well also be the formula for success in real life as well. But either way, it is my attempt at trying to take this extremely non-linear, life-sized process and through the lens of RPGs and all of video gamedom, make it as linear and as approachable for everyone as a Halo or a Super Mario Brothers or an Anthro 101 class. I hope it helps. And if everyone doesn't mind, I've decided to split the Christ help me. I've decided to split the epilogue episode into 2 parts. So please come join me again soon for the epilogue of the epilogue and the end, like the real end. Dead serious, like it's finally fucking ending. The end of JMB and RPGs. Thank you very much. Epilogue. You bitch! I swear to God, the last episode of JMB on RPGs. Thank you!